Good morning, everybody. It's Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc, and you've joined me on Sunday, April the 25th. And I am thrilled to be here with you. Those of you who have been on the challenge for the last week know I've had some challenges with StreamYard, so fingers crossed that today we won't have any issues. By me saying that, of course, hopefully have put out the word that technology, please hang in there. And if you're just joining me, please type in, look at you, Katie, first in the morning, following the protocol and even telling me where you're joining me from. So if you'd all like to join in and do that same thing, you can also, by the way, give me thumbs up at any point. You can give me a thumbs up and let me know you're out there. I'm going to start off today by talking about an experience I had recently. And I was I was at Panera Bread the other day, and followed the protocol and put my mask on, everything, got in, ordered it, and I'm sitting down there. Hey, Jennifer, glad you're joining me this morning. Walked in, I sat over at the table, and you can take the mask off while you're at the table, so fine. And I go to pick it up, and I go over and I look at the order and it's wrong. And and the guy says, "There's something wrong?" I go, "Oh yeah, there's something." And this young woman walks up. She goes, "Sir, do you have a mask?" I was like, "Oh, I forgot." And I put it back on, And then the guy said, "Did you have a problem?" And I was like, "Yes, this was supposed to have this." And I was so rattled that I had to think, "Oh, this is what the new normal is like." And I'm just sharing that with you that I get it. I was wrong. So I get it. I was wrong. I get it. I should have masked up immediately, except that it seems like, and I had another experience. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I shared a story about being at Apple and having to queue up, and this young man who was really curt. But as I got into the line, this woman is leaving, screaming, "I wish I could go anywhere that had customer service." And I think there is this element right now that is allowing people to put your hand up and say, you're wrong, and get into this, instead of just like, the compassionate thing would have been like, "Oh, you probably forgot your mask. Would you put it on for us?" Like, "Oh, absolutely." And then I would have had this warm feeling, but that's not what's coming about. It's this no. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. We've been through COVID. I've had my second shot. I get all of that. Kathy, I enjoy having my coffee with you, Doc. Well, that's good to know. Thanks for that. Except that I think we've gotten out of training people what it's like to be kind instead of accusatory. And I get it. Frontline workers are the ones that have been in the battle the longest. Except that we have stopped training what it's like to be nice to people. And I do not want to go back to that place, because I was wrong, but still, let's be honest here. It's just a simple way of the way that you say it. That's one thing I wanted to just park that there. And then a second one I wanted you to think about is that I got a instant message from a young woman this last week, and she was telling me, "Can you please help me? I work at name of a very expensive store, and they told us that you don't get enough points, you're moved to a different zone in the store, and I want to be in the other store, in the other zone, because that's where I make money. And if we don't do this, we're fired. Please help." And I said, "Well, get a copy of my book. I think that's really important. That'll at least walk you through my sales process. I would rather you bought Sales RX, my online training, but at least that will walk you through what it is." And I think so many times that we are holding people accountable without giving them any tools. Anybody in that experience right now? Has anybody had that? Anybody? The mask militia. Exactly, David. They trained me not to come back. Ruel, perfect. Thanks for that. Absolutely, they did. And yet, think of the millions of dollars are spent on marketing. Oh, we have fresh salads. We have this and this. Make no mistake. It only matters if I, have an exceptional experience and I walk out with a good experience in your store. And if I buy from you, I'm done with having people tell me, "We have friendly employees." I was in your store. They weren't friendly. I was at an Apple queued up, and the guy was just really rude. And, I just had a question about my watch. I had to get this out. There were like 9 employees on the floor with their green shirts, doing nothing, looking at their phones, talking. And anyone could have easily said, "Oh, let's get this quick, find if it's a quick answer, or otherwise you could come back in a couple hours because you didn't have an appointment." "Oh, great, that's fine." "No, I can see you in 3:15. It's this way of saying you're not important. And I'm telling you, this is a big deal, because already brick and mortar is been losing for the last year to online giants, and the big six have a lot more money than they've ever had before, and you have to find a way to go through and do the hard work. We just finished a challenge with hundreds of retailers, and they told me the things that they struggle with is employees don't do what they want or don't do what they say. And then I say, well, let's unpack your training. And a lot of them would go through and talk to me as if I knew everything. And you have to be really clear on training. You have to be really bite-sized. Now, before I get to your questions, I am going to take a moment to tell you that we have a new sprint that is starting up here in it's actually starting this Thursday, and the sprint is for our paid SalesRx customers. So if you have a subscription to SalesRx, we take 5 weeks. We're going to go through and have a weekly coaching with me and our director of customer success, Linda. We're going to hold you accountable, be able to help you get through the system, get more out of it. And it's a concierge service that we only offer at our very highest end customers, but we're doing it a couple times a year, and we're doing it this time as well. So I just want to make very clear, I'm going to try to go to my slides now. With any luck, we'll see it. Very clear that, we have been in the idea that the way we're going to market our business is it's all about price and promotion, except that the number one reason why we lose sales is staff and service. And I get it. A lot of you have a lot of tailwind. Your suppliers can't meet demand. I get that. But if you don't have nice people that know and what that means, and you have a system underneath it, I think you are going to be having a tough time, because the interest is there to go to a brick and mortar store. And you can say, oh, it's terrible to be me, and you can get on your chat boards and all this. But make no mistake, most of you have a do-it-yourself training program, which has kind of been cobbled together, or you've got some dusty manual, or we did a video once, or or you say, oh, my crew is totally trained. And then I hear horror stories, and well, yeah, that's kind of what happens. And we just get into the, hi, can I help you find something? Get them in, get them out. And I think what you end up doing is losing those extra sales. And what SalesRx does is gives you a bridge between your team, the training, and the ability to manage itself. And so I encourage you to check out SalesRx. It's my online retail sales training program. Nothing is assumed. And we give you all kinds of training aids and a training calendar and how to do it. It's all set up. It's the same system I use for my biggest clients, unpacked into everything from how to greet a customer to personality styles. How do we handle customer complaints? How do we go through an upsell? How do we start with top-down selling? It's all there. You don't have to assume it. You don't have to wonder what it is. And I just parked that for you, that you should go to salesrx.com and sign up, because as a free bonus, you're going to get that $1,000 worth of onboarding from me. And I can tell you that that's priceless. So there you go. Let's get to your questions. They're kind of interesting in that a lot of them are right around the same topic. And by the way, while I'm live, if you have any questions, you can go through and you can ask them live, and I will answer them. But make no mistake, you are going to be judged on how your compromises, not on your successes. And you can pat yourself on the back. We do curbside. I don't know any retailer, I don't know any small business that thinks that is the way forward, because retail is a game of masses. You need people to come in. You need to convert them from looking to buying, to buy enough at a margin that you can live the life you want. That's my definition of success. There's an awful lot of people talking about all these different things you can do, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, did they buy from you or not? And if they didn't, it's not on the customer, it's on you. All right. Nancy's asking me, do you think that putting signs on the front of the door is a good way to advertise for sales associates? What's the best verbiage? So Nancy, to me, it's a loser's limp. Well, you have to do it. I can tell you I've opened a number of stores across the U.S. over decades, and it's tough. There's no way about it. And I went to buy a tree for my yard the other day, one of my favorite nurseries up here in the mountains, Stories Nurseries, if you're watching. And I said, that's the one. And he goes, well, I hope you're patient. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, it'll be 2 months till we can get someone to plant it. And I was like, okay, luckily I have someone that can do that, but we've got to figure this out, because this is what we're hearing everywhere. You go out to a restaurant, oh, well, we're short staffed, so we can't clean the tables. I don't give a damn. I'm not coming back, because damn it, I'm out of quarantine. I want someone to serve me. I'm paying top dollar. Give me what I want. And so you have to understand, Nancy, that yes, you could do that. And yeah, for me, the best verbiage is always we're adding shifts. That always sounds so much better than help wanted. There's nothing worse for me to drive up to a restaurant than to see cook wanted. You're just like, yeah, there's got to be another way to advertise that. So there's a lot of ways you could do it. You could do a social media post. You could do a video. We talked about this in the challenge the other day, that you can do a video to attract people. But if you're not clear where you fit and what the bonus is for a Gen Z employee or a millennial, hours, flexible hours, that's not it. What are you going to give them? Because you got to remember, in an interview right now, you have to sell them on working for you as much as they have to sell you that they're going to be a good employee. And the reason why people start and they don't stay is because you don't have a plan. You don't have a training plan underneath them. You don't have a plan that says, I'm going to make you more successful and take you from unskilled to more skilled. That's what employees are craving for. They were craving for acknowledgement, for training, and for rewards. And rewards is not, I need a $15 an hour raise. What they need to know is that you are holding them accountable and you're seeing that they do a good job. This idea of the checked out owner is going to have to die with the asked and answered retail. Can I help you find something? You have a budget? All that other garbage that people are still doing because it's easy. So Nancy, what you do is when you go out to a store and you see someone, I love coffee houses because I think they're a great way to say, hey, if you're ever looking to add shifts, I would love to have you join us. Give them your card. If you're out in a restaurant, that's great. That takes work. You're going to go and you're going to call on as many different places as you can. And this is where I think the downtown associations and Chamber of Commerce and all that need to have hiring fairs, but you have to do the hard work, Nancy, which is why the hell do I come to work for you? We expect people to pick orders, which is essentially, check out your mind. You're just a robot. Pick orders, show up on time, work nights and weekends, any hours we have available. And I'll give you the princely hourly sum of $8 an hour. And then we get upset that no one wants to work for us. Because here's the thing. You can't do the work of two people. I mean, ultimately, you can think you are, but you can't be in two places. And a lot of stores are running on a whisper of service. And I'm here to tell you, we have never had more money in the bank with people ready to dish it out. But I'll tell you, as one of those consumers, I am tired of hearing this excuse. Oh, we're short-staffed. Oh, lose those. Set your ideas that I've got to get the staff. Set a training program in place. Sales RX now is the week to do it because we're doing a challenge and you get a sprint. You're getting all this for free. But it's up to you to figure it out. It's no different than me. Last year, needless to say, March the 12th, somehow all of my bookings were canceled. And instead of flying 140,000 miles that year, I had to figure it out. And that was a matter of, I came up with a whole training program and I gave it away for free. And yes, we got the Innovation Award from the World Retail Forums. And a lot of you are here because of that. And I am thrilled we did that because that had to keep me busy. Well, now it's about getting people onto Sales RX because this is what makes me money. This is how my brand continues. And not everybody's going to be my customer, just like not everyone is going to be able to work for you. But we've got to stop settling for whoever shows up and fogs the mirror and can work the shifts so that you can not be there. That's not it. You look at the most engaged brands. You look at a Lululemon. You look at a Chick-fil-A. You look at those and you see an incredibly strong commitment to who? Their employees, because we don't build businesses, we build people, and people build businesses. Yeah, you can write that down. You can write that down. Are you writing that down? I'm just asking. What do you think? Does that agree with you? Do you like that? Does that sound, can you say that's yes? Do you agree with me? Put yes. If you agree with me, then you just put yes. All right, Laura asked me, we have been going live every week for a year. Good. For a while before the holidays, it was twice a week. We opened shipments live and people love to watch. We changed it up for the first time in a long time last week. But it's always the same people watching, engaging. It's something we all deal with here, Laura. Absolutely. Our sales from it have gotten smaller and less foot traffic. How do I get more people watching? We do have a lot of engagement that's not the same. How do we get more engagement that's not the same people? And how do I turn those viewers into foot traffic or at least spenders? Well, any more questions you can ask about social media? I don't think you could. So I'm just going to give you a quick thing. You have to look at all that effort. Is it bringing you sales? Now, I have an awful lot of people say, oh, I've been watching your Facebook videos for a long time. It's like 4 or 5 years I've been doing this. That's great. But you have to look at the return on investment. Would it be better for you instead to be calling up your best customers and saying, why don't you come down to the store and let's refresh your wardrobe, or finding out their birthday and sending them a card, or stalking them on Instagram? I mean that in the best way. And knowing that they just got a new puppy, and then being able to send a pound of or 10-pound bag of puppy chow to them. Wouldn't that probably be a better way? Because the people who have money, that are your best customers that pay top dollar, wouldn't they like to feel that love instead of us trying to drag people into the boat? Is really what I'm calling. I do a lot of that, which is, trying to get people in. But at some point you say, if I have to drag them in, if I have to kicking and streaming, dragging into the boat, then I'm going to have to drag them around the lake. And at some point you say, are these my customers? It's the same thing with me. People who are listening to now, are you willing to take action and join me on Sales RX for us to do a sprint? Or are you just a visitor and you want to listen? Masterclass is a big one you see ads for. You probably see them all around. Aaron Sorkin teaches writing. And instead of people taking them to learn, which is the way that they intended it, people are taking it like, to munch popcorn. Oh, isn't this interesting? And all I care about is really thinking about, are you taking action? And if you're following me and you're not taking action, I'm not sure what to tell you. I had a free challenge for 5 days where you could have worked with me twice a day. And we get people to fall off on that. Why? Because it's work. And most of us think, oh, well, I'll get around to it. I'm saying the number one thing most businesses, and this goes for the big ones that are watching me on LinkedIn, as well as the smaller ones that watch me on Facebook, your training departments have been underutilized. Your analytical ability to hold people accountable has been thrown out the door, and we have been settling for allowing people to determine your brand success because it's easy. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. I don't care what you sell. I don't care what you're doing. If you don't value the people and say we build people to build the business, I think you are in trouble. I think that we have seen this preponderance of people saying, just do social media, just do live stream, just do sales and they'll come. It's not that easy. Ultimately, you have to decide, who is my best customer? And they may only be 10% of the people that follow you. Now figure that out. If you've got 5,000 followers and there's really only 500 that are potentially your customer, and you're only closing 5 of them, is this the best way for you to spend all your time? That's a question. That's a question. All right. So look at your ROI. That's one for you, Laura. Barbass, this is a similar idea. Barbass, we own a women's clothing boutique, and we host weekly Facebook Lives. We consistently have about 50 viewers. I want to reach 100. I ask our customers to like, share our lives. Do I offer an incentive to help them reach my goal? Should I offer a contest and ideas? So Barb, the biggest thing is it is a pay-to-play version. Groups are really hard. If you have a private group, those are hard to get people to see you because Facebook doesn't allow you to post that, and they'll get an alert you've gone live, but you can't put money behind it. The place to put money is your business page. But I have to ask you, why do you want 100, Barb? Is that a vanity metric? Because if you really drill down into your insights on Facebook, Facebook considers a view of 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's what they say is a view. Now, if they aren't still with you, now it looks like mine's growing, so that's nice to see today. If they aren't still with you, then you have to say, well, is that the metric that I should use, or is that the one that they want me to? And if you want to get more people to see your Facebook Lives, it's probably going to be in the replay. A lot of you follow me to be here at 9 a.m. every time Eastern because I'm a regular, but a lot of people don't do that. They're going to want to watch it when you do. So when they do. So the key to that is, after it broadcasts, you're going to make sure and edit the video, make sure the thumbnail is right, and then you're going to spend money behind it. And you're probably going to have to put $50 behind it. But again, you can offer a contest. Is that really what you want to do, is use social media to be able to go and give more discounts? I don't think so. I have to laugh at all of the products that show up in my Facebook feeds and my Instagram. It's really interesting. Like, this is a Robert Graham shirt. So this shirt's probably $200. This is a classic one of his. Heidi, you probably noticed the embroidery. I love Robert Graham. This is my first one I got quite a while ago. Their signature pieces, they're very different. So they probably have seen from my videos from my Facebook and my Instagram shots, I'm sure they've seen these type of pattern shirts. And so they're able to go in and buy ads against guys that like these shirts. So I'll click a pretty shirt and I'll click on it. And then it's like $29. What kind of crap is this? It's like, oh, it's polyester. It's like, no, this isn't me. But someone had the right idea, but they don't show me these shirts. They show me the knockoffs because whatever. They haven't done that final part of saying, oh, is this a guy that really wants a disposable fashion? That's not me. By the way, if you're watching Robert Graham, you could sponsor my videos. I'm just saying, just saying. So there you go. Raul, do your people back and believe in the message you share? That's exactly right. Oh, I love that, Chris. Finite versus infinite. Yeah, exactly. Instead of the idea that training is something that is a checkbox, we did it, it's done. You look at it as just something we do. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that people noticed when we went through the challenges last week is, wow, I have a lot of work to do. Because here's the thing. Most businesses start, you have a passion for fashion or putting stuff together or barbecues or whatever. It doesn't matter. And you built a business, except you didn't really have a foundation. You put the walls up and your passion got you there and you got to a certain level. And now you're like, why isn't this quite working? Well, you didn't build the foundation. There's no plumbing, electrical, sewer connection, air conditioning. And so things fall through the cracks. So now you have to backfill, which is why a system like SalesRx would make a difference to you. Do I have it here? Do have it here. Why that would make a difference to you, because then it would all be taken care of and you would systematically be able to backfill the foundation that allows you to engage a stranger, discover a shopper, and yes, make the sale. There's a lot of buzz, I would call it BS, being blown out around everybody saying, oh, we just get awareness. That's what it's about. It is not what it's about. What it's about is buying. Someone has to buy from you. And people say, oh, malls are dead. Malls are not dead. People are being reinvented. They're finding new ways in. Smaller retailers are getting in there. They'll find their way. But the days of a 40% off Friends and Family Day are dead. People have the money. What they don't have is time to go through and sort through all the garbage. If somebody really targeted me and said, hey, these are the 3 shirts I think that would be wonderful, then we would be there. Jennifer, glad you learned a lot from the 5-day challenge. That's great. Well, Jennifer, you need to take the next step, which is what? You need to go and you need to join me on SalesRx because we've only scratched the surface. So there you go. All righty. And so that's the thing to take out, Barb, is that when you've done the live video, then you have to put some money behind it. Make sure that there's some kind of an offer. In this case, I'm putting an offer into people to join me on SalesRx. Nothing special. You just go to SalesRx. You join it, it's $3.90 the first month, and then $195 a month thereafter for up to 5 users, and it scales and all of those kind of things. But if you're going to post it, don't just post it because you have some $3 trinket. Make sure that you're really clear on what you're trying to do. Last question today before I get to the end. Marilyn says, I need to get more involved in social media. What's the most popular format to use if we go live? How often should we do this? So the big thing, Marilyn, is really simply go where your customers are. Now, for me, I have customers on LinkedIn. Those are my bigger enterprise accounts, and we have smaller ones on Facebook. And so right now, I'm using a company called StreamYard, which, hey, it looks like it's actually here. And it didn't drop on me. Yeah. All right, so quick story. I'll come back to you, Marilyn. Quick story. So this last week, we get to the last day of the challenge. I'm going live. I have this deck of, 60 slides. We're 20 minutes in, and it starts breaking down, and I get these things like, we're losing connections to Facebook, and people are like, did he go? And I kept trying to get back, and I tripped back. And it reminded me, and finally we have this fixed. So if you're in the challenge, we have the clean copy for you to watch. Last March, so we have been thinking about this new course we're going to do, the Features and Benefits course. It's a subset of SalesRx. It was only $100. And we decided that the day it was going to launch was March 12th. Mind you, we're going through and all of these workflows, we send out automated emails to deepen the rollout because it's a big kickoff, right? It's a new product and all this. Yeah, if you remember, that's the day that Tom Hanks said he had COVID and a national emergency was diagnosed. And so we were faced with a challenge. Do we let it run its course through all of these tens of thousands of people I have, or do we cut it off? And I said, no, let's let it go because people were buying it. We're getting we were getting people buying it the first day. But then I started getting emails like, I think this is the wrong time you should do it, and you shouldn't be, and you shouldn't. Here's the thing. If you are waiting for the right time for you to make an offer, the right time for you to start training, there will never be the right time. Yeah, there won't be, right? Because in January, oh, well, we don't really have, we're out of our high season and we're losing people. This isn't a good time. February, oh, well, we still have a lot of our old stuff, so we're not ready for it. Oh, well, let's start in March. Oh, well, March, I'm going to all the shows. I can't do March. What about April? Oh, we're starting into high season and we can't do it then. And you go through, and every month there's going to be an excuse. And it's the same thing for your training as it is for starting social media. Oh, well, I'll get around to it. Or holding somebody accountable. There's never a good time. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. And so, Marilyn, whatever it is for you, just do it. Do Facebook, and your goal is to always get up to at least 100 followers. So you have to have a whole plan around why you're doing that, why it's important. Maybe it's going to be Instagram if you are something like apparel or something that you put things together. That's really good. By the way, if you don't follow Steve Spangler Science on Instagram, you're missing it, because Steve is the best in the business, and he sells to parents and also to educators. And he always has a quick little science experiment for like 2 or 3 minutes. And almost always he says, and remember, don't try this at home, try it at a friend's. And I always remember that, because he's got a really tight idea of who he is and who he's going after. And the same for you when it comes to social media. For me, I know that my how-tos always get a lot more coverage, and then my live videos are like here. And then I go through, and throughout the week, I'm posting either evergreen content, which means something I've written before, or brand new content, or a video. Now I have cartoons. Do you like the cartoons, by the way? Do you like the cartoons? Because I've been putting out more cartoons, and they're kind of fun. In fact, the newsletter tonight is a new one, me in a bridal store. So there you go. We're trying to find ways to say, is this working or not? And this brings me back all the way to that first question, is your ROI. My time involved in this, yeah, I question it as well. Is this worth it? Do people actually sign up to take Sales RX, which I do something like the sprint, which we're starting on Thursday this time. And it's a bonus. It's $1,000 of my training with me live with Linda to hold your hands and hold you accountable. It's something we only do at the 75 and 100 users and more, thousands. But we're doing it for a couple times a year to give you that same hands-on white glove experience that everybody else does. But you have to decide, am I willing to change? Because if you're not willing to change, good luck to you. The market has changed. Retail has changed. I'm telling you, the loser's limp of saying, oh, I'll be with you. Oh, someone called in sick, but we handled it fine. No, you didn't handle it fine. Stores are meant to run on multiple people in a store if you have enough traffic. If you don't have enough traffic, then you're training during that time to make sure that when you do, and it comes back, because we're expecting the roaring 20s for the next 6 to 18 months, that you're going to be able to scoop up more value from your customers, because you're going to know how to do it all. But if you're still in the do-it-yourself, I can do it on my own, well, good luck to you, because if you're still allowing yourself excuses for why you can't, why you shouldn't, why poor you're getting on those stimulus checks are killing my ability to hire people. I would pay $20 an hour. I would say if I was a nursery, I would say, and I'll give you a $15 bonus for every tree you plant in a day. I don't care. I would find a way, because I'm telling you, it comes down to the way that you decide to show up for your damn business. This time last year, I remember a report on CNN, and they had, I think we're in the middle of rural, I don't know, one of the Dakotas or Montana, and they talked about how this popular diner has, the guy was like, well, COVID and that damn government, and they're just this and this. Oh, it's just terrible. And I was like, oh, I would really like to eat with you. And then they went down, I don't know, half mile, 2 brothers who had a similar type of a store, and they had already taken all the time when they were closed to build out a whole new drive-through experience. They had mobile ordering. They had figured it out, and they were ready to go. Who do you think people are going to do business with now? Do you really want to go back to that? Or do you want to go to, wow, it's a great time? Because it's your decision. Use your choice muscle. It's a great time. It's a great time if you want to join me for Sales RX. I am on fire. I love to train. I love working with retailers. But what I won't accept is excuses. If you're going to still sit on the sideline and think somebody owes you a living, you are mistaken. You are either going to earn it and you're going to have fun with it, or you're going to pull back at this moment. Your customers are waiting for you, like, yeah, what's happening? Where are we going? And you're going to miss this retail revival. So there you go. What do you think? Did you like what I had to say today? Give me a thumbs up. Give me, what did you learn? What's one thing you take away from today? What's one thing you take away from today? Anybody? Type it in there while you're waiting. While you're waiting, I'll leave. That's where that sales Rex. What's one thing? Sherry, Bob practices what he preaches. That's right, David. Make excuses for your problem, and sure enough, they're yours. Yeah, that's exactly right, my friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great point, Chris. How important is skin in the game? I think I got my passion for retail when I suddenly realized I want to have a house by the time I was 24. I worked in a group of stores that allowed me to make a bonus on, in addition to my crew. And I connected the dots and I said, well, so I have skin in the game. If I get this, then I get that. And I think so many times people go, no excuses, Aaron. Damn right, baby. Sorry, your baby's on there. That was terrible. I think we have to go through and we've got to stay focused on, what is my skin in the game? Why am I doing this? Because ultimately it should be to live the life that you want, and this is how I get it. And you have to be able to say that to your employees so that they will do it. Nobody's coming to work for you to go like, oh, I get to make John more money. I'm so happy. They don't do that. They have their own personal reasons. And yeah, I get it. When I grew up, my first apartment was a crappy little one. And I woke up one day and they were filming Hill Street Blues. And I realized, like, if this is a stand-in for South Side Chicago, this probably isn't a great neighborhood. But you had furniture you bought from a friend let you have, and you had crappy stuff, and it didn't matter. And now a lot of people are able to have a much higher standard when they just go out into the world, or they're living at home. So they don't necessarily need the paycheck the same way I did, but they still have the need. You have to find it, which is why it brings me back to, how do you hire employees? You have to know exactly, what are you providing? What is the better path to success in their life you're going to lead? You're going to take them on so that they can live the best of themselves. If you can't answer that, you have homework to do. You have homework to do. Oh, Raul, I'm glad you got that. You build the people, people build the business. Yeah, Marilyn, absolutely. Just do it. Clarity, absolutely. There's a lot of nonsense out there right now. There's a lot of stuff. And I think, Dana, I think that may be the best one of the day. So I think I will leave that up. I'm not here to kick your ass. If you're willing to be complacent, after you get off here and I don't see you dinging in on Sales RX, I've got to ask myself, well, why are you here? Are you just you'd like to be entertained by Bob going on a rant? I don't know. But if you have enjoyed what I have to say and you want to join me, then this is the time. Go to salesrx.com. You scroll down about a third. You put in your information. It'll take you maybe a minute. You'll be able to go through. We'll show you exactly how to onboard. And then on this Thursday, you'll join me and our Director of Customer Success, Linda, and we will walk you through exactly how it works. You can buy Sales RX anytime. Don't get me wrong, we have people starting all the time, but this is one of a few times that we do it where we have a personal interaction. And by the way, there's a whole Facebook personal Sales RX page that you know nothing about, and unless you pay for it, you can't join. But we talk about all sorts of cool things. In fact, I'm going to go live with them in just a few minutes as well. So I love having you on the call with me. I think at the end of the day, we're about as successful as we make our minds up to be. And think again about the excuses you're giving yourself about why you're not successful. There's only one person responsible for your success. You know who that is? Yeah, go to the mirror and take a look. I'm Bob Phibbs, the Retail Doc. Hope to see you next week.